Hi folks, Shamus from Outdoors Inspiration. How are we doing? This is Petra, my German Shepherd. I'll just try and get out of the wind a bit. Oh crikey. Well, we're out for a bit of a wild camp and a hike today. It's Storm Alex that's blowing through. I hope this is coming out okay. I've got a dead cat on the mic and hopefully it's muffling some of the wind noise. I just want to give things a bit of a try out in some wind tonight, so we're in for a bit of fun, I hope. Petra, come. Come. Well, that's one of the beauties of Hilleberg. I brought the inner down partially. You can take it all the way down and just use this as a shelter. But it's enough for Petra and I to get out of the storm and to dry off a bit and recalculate and get our gear into here in a dry fashion and nicely controlled, so everything stays nice and cozy for the night. The gusts that were coming through as we put the tent up were around the 40 miles an hour. There is a tendency to over exaggerate wind, but I am a trained Met observer, so I'm quite good at gauging the wind. So yeah, I'd probably say gusts are around 40 miles an hour. It's settled down a bit now and the rain's easing off just a tad. There's some low stratus clouds just scudding along, clipping the hilltops at the moment. But we need to get ourselves in and dry, and we'll see you in a mo. I think I'm going to make a cup of coffee and possibly a hot chocolate, and watch some of this weather go past. The direction I'm looking in, I can see the lights of North Hilleberg Tor, the mast that's there. It's about 600 foot high there, I think. So I can see the clouds scudding through it. It gives you a kind of real handle on the weather, really. Anyway, time for a cuppa. We'll watch that for a little bit, and we'll report back later. The woolly lawnmowers have turned up. It's quite amusing to look outside the tent and see a whole flock of sheep munching outside that you were hitherto unaware of their presence. So much for the German Shepherd dog. There's a whole flock of sheep outside the tent mowing the grass quite merrily, and she didn't even say a word, didn't flinch. Nothing, nada, zilch. Hey? It was a windy night, wasn't it? Well, that was quite a windy night. I managed to get quite a bit of sleep, actually. I find it quite reassuring to hear the wind around the tent. I don't make a big song and dance about the wind because I know that tent is going to stand it. I've been out in a lot worse, in a lot more fragile tents than that's for sure. But it was quite an enjoyable night. I learned a couple of things last night. When I turned up, the ground was still quite sodden, and I was expecting a fairly firm pitch, and I was losing the pegs into the ground in quite soft ground. So I think I might bring some longer reach pegs next time, just for the windward side, for the windward guys, because it did bother me at one point that I thought the guys may have come loose. They hadn't. I got up and checked, but they were still solid. But just for reassurance, a couple of longer pegs on the windward side to take those windward guys down, and then you can forget about them, really. Just post them in and forget that they're there. So that was something worthwhile thinking about for next time. Anyway, right, breakfast is done, coffee's done, onwards and upwards, I guess. way over. Up, up, up. Way up. Way up. So the rock on Dartmoor is predominantly granite. See, the tors here started to form 280 million years ago. As molten granite started to cool, it was probably at about 900 to 1,000 degrees at that point, but started to solidify. And as that molten granite started to solidify, the contraction caused jointing cracks, which are the vertical lines within the rock here. And above the granite were 2 to 3 kilometres of sandstone and slate, and they, in geological terms, quickly washed away, leaving the granite exposed. The Ice Age brought the freezing of the water that fell within the cracks of the rock, and that froze and expanded and cracked the rock. And it would thaw out and freeze again, and thaw out and freeze again. And the rock splintered and fractured, and is what we see today, topping out the hills of Dartmoor, these beautiful granite tors. This is Great Staple Tor. It's absolutely amazing to think it was formed 280 million years ago. I say 280 million years ago, to be precise, it was on a Thursday just before lunch.